Okay, good morning, everybody. It's 10 a.m. Welcome to our 24-25 season of Academy for Program Coordinators. We are so excited we have more people joining in. I want to please ask you to mute yourselves. We're recording this session as always. We're gonna post the link to the recording, blah blah blah. Sorry, after later today, and okay. So we're gonna give our speaker a few minutes. For those who are joining in for the first time, you will see that we post in our chat the attendance form and the evaluation form for our sessions. Guys, we take those feedbacks to stride. We love when you guys give us feedback and when you ask for certain topics. We also do a needs assessment every year at the end of the academic year, to assess what needs you guys request for the next academic year. Again, I am, please mute yourselves. I am trying to let other people in. We have so many people joining. It is amazing to see the energy that it's gonna come through the session today. Also, we are celebrating GME Professionals Month. Yay! Because here we don't think it should be a day only. We think it should be the whole month of August. And I see Laura's face around here. Hi, Laura. So if you are part of our Facebook and LinkedIn groups, you will have seen some beautiful spotlights that we have posted so far. We do it for the whole month. So we enjoy reading through the nominations. We enjoy highlighting everybody that we can. So every morning, right now I am doing it, but that's up. Our other co-leads in the academy will be posting them. And we also send you the copy of the posting that we do to your email so you can share it and you can brag. You have bragging rights with that because you've been spotlighted. You guys are amazing. You're rock stars. So for those who are new again, my name is Aria. I am one of your hosts today. With me also we have Kimberly Warfield. Kimberly, if you can unmute yourself and say hi.
Good morning, everybody. It's so good to be back and to see new faces, and you'll get to know more about me as we go on. I hope everybody's having a good day.
And then we also have Nicole Williams Hall. Nicole, can you unmute or not?
Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm on carpool pickup duty at football practice, but good morning. It's glad to be back for the new academic year for Academy of Program Coordinators.
Amazing. Thank you so much, ladies. So Nicole and Kimberly and I are the ones that come up with all these schemes. So we're so happy that we get to work together. I enjoy working with you guys. I will post the links to both LinkedIn and Facebook groups momentarily. I will repost again the attendance form and the evaluation form. And again, at the end of the year, we also give out a certificate of participation for the hours you attended Academy. More information to come, more projects to come with the Academy. This is open to all the coordinators, not just local, but we are open across the nation. So if you have a coordinator who you think will benefit from this, invite them, send them the links, send them our way, because we are so happy to have them join our huge family. And I don't know who was at ACGME recently. We went to ACGME, we had 1,800 coordinators there, but nationally there's over 11,000 coordinators. So we know there's still people out there that need to be reached out and given them these resources. This is for you, created by coordinators like yourselves. So without further ado, I'm going to stop my screen share. And I'm going to introduce Becca Samsian. Becca is part of our team here at the Office of Educational Programs at TCOM. She is part of the Medical Student Success Office, and she is one of the most amazing people I have the pleasure to work with. And let's say this, we are all servant leaders in our role. We're middle management, middle leaders. So one of the things we do is serve our community. So Becca has this amazing presentation on servant leadership, and we invited her to join us. Next month, we will have a former colleague of ours talk about GME finance. So if you are not able to join that session, again, we will record it, but we are so happy to have that session too, for all of you. More programming to come, more projects to come, like I said. So without further ado, Becca, if you're ready, it's all yours.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm so excited to be able to be with you here today. Thank you so much, Ari, for that introduction. Like she said, I work with the team with Aria and Kim and Nicole. They're wonderful, amazing people. I hail from everywhere, USA. I've moved every several years, but just within the last year, moved to Fort Worth, Texas, for my husband to go to medical school. So I work at the Texas College of Osteopathic Medicine, but my husband is a second year. So thank you as the wife of a future physician for what you do. What you do truly matters and makes a difference. And I've seen the amazing work that you guys have been able to do. So thank you so much for all that you do for our doctors. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to get started. All right. Give it a minute to kick in. Great. All right, we're going to have kind of a fun, interactive bit for our presentation today. I just want to clearly state our objectives is that by the end of this, we hope that we'll be able to learn the importance of servant leadership and some ideas of how to effectively use empathy, healing, and listening in the workspace. We also hope to set some specific goals within healing, listening, and empathy, and be able to increase our leadership efforts. Just like Aria said, you are all leaders. Everybody has an opportunity to serve. So I hope to tap into the knowledge that exists in the room and help facilitate some discussions so that we can be enlightened and inspired today. So we are going to have a fun interactive thing. So actually, if you have your phone, if you could please scan this QR code. You can also join by going to menti.com and using the code that's on the top. So I'll give everybody a moment to do that. And I'm just gonna move my screen around here. All right. Oh, I've seen the like, someone's hitting that like button a lot. Great, we'll just go a few more seconds here to scan that. And again, the code will be present on the slides the whole time. So you will be able to join via that code that's at the top here as well. All right. I'll move on. If now, forever hold your peace, because we'll move on to the next slide here. I want to know where y'all are joining from. You should have an option on your device to be able to pin where you were at. I'll keep an eye on the chat here as well. All right, my goodness, popping up all over the place. Look at that. Quite a few here in Texas, California, Michigan, up here in New England, it looks like. Florida, a few here in New York. Wyoming, one from Wyoming. I love Wyoming. My parents live in Montana, and so I think it's so beautiful out there. So go Wyoming or Montana, wherever you're at. All right. Thank you so much. It looks like we're coming from all over the country. All have a spread of knowledge that we're excited to be able to share with everyone here today. I also want to get to know you a little bit more, and for purposes of familiarizing ourselves with this platform, we have some this or that questions just to kind of kick us off. So, dogs or cats? Ooh, dogs are coming up fast, but cats, oh wow, dogs really jumped up. The cat club is trying to climb, man. They're trying to climb. 100 for the dogs. By raise of hand, is anybody both? They're like, I can't choose. I love both. Some are like, no, I'm very, very much opinionated. Yeah. Great. Okay, looks like we have some animal lovers here. Is there anybody that's like, I'm not into pets, man. It's not my spiel. Not my spiel. Yeah. I love cats, but allergic, not. Oh, I know. My husband's allergic to cats as well, and he wants one so bad. Okay, another one, winter or summer? We're from all over the country, so this will be interesting to see how this hashes out. Okay, lots of votes for summer, for winter. Great, thank you for those participating in the chat as well. Love to see the chatter. Autumn, yes, yes. I feel like that's everybody's safe in between, right? Is fall. Especially for those of you who live in New England or in the eastern areas. I lived in Maine for a while. I've spent quite a bit of time also up at New York, not quite New England, but New York and Boston as well. And it's gorgeous. It's very hot here in Texas. So very toasty. All right. My next one, probably the most controversial of all, pineapple on pizza. Yes or no? Really important. Ooh, the no shot up really fast. Okay, Ty. All right. Yes. Kisses at the sun. I love that. People are either really passionate about this one way or another, I feel like. So a pretty even split. Ooh, dessert pizza. Yes. Oh, pineapple with jalapeno. Oh my, you guys have such wonderful ideas. I'm gonna have to try all of these. That's great. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for humoring me with that, just to get to know the group here a little bit. We're going to kind of do a little bit of a precursor question, and let's see where we're at with leadership check-in. It's strongly disagree to strongly agree, and you just move that slider over, and the averages should pop up for us. Great. Okay, seeing about an average, about a 4 to 4.2 for this top one. In the middle range, about 3.4, feeling confident. I have a desire to be a leader, 3.9. I know what servant leadership. Okay, so it looks like maybe about half-ish, maybe a little bit more, are familiar with servant leadership. Great, I'll let it go just for a second longer to get those final votes in. Oh, Valerie, I appreciate your comment. Mentees, the program, it's super fun. So everyone should check it out. Great, thank you so much for answering those questions and doing that check-in. I just wanted to check in with you all and see where we were at. Well, let's go ahead, everybody, and we're going to start with our first question here that has a short answer. In one word, how would you describe leadership? You can put in multiple answers. And you're also welcome to put information in the chat as well. Challenging, critical, engaged.
Got how much background you want?
Supportive. See mentor, challenging, and supportive popping up as our most popular picks. For those of you who are joining in just now, you can go to menti.com via your phone or another web browser, and you can use this code that's here on the top. If not, you can also put your responses in the chat as well. Great. Look at all these words: guide, example, kind, stressful, responsibility, hard, confidence, learning process. And Martha, to answer your question, I would say leadership. You personally.
Becca, can you repeat that because you kind of froze for a second?
Oh, yes. Am I back online?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, hopefully. Let me know. Sometimes the internet is spotty where I'm at. Just reading off the words here, looks like our most popular ones are mentor, supportive, challenging. Love to see. Thank you. I really appreciate that we're able to encapsulate maybe the spectrum of the positive sides and maybe the negative sides that we have associated with leadership. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to our first discussion piece. Identify a leader or mentor that has made an impression on your life. What made them a great leader? I'm going to put y'all into breakout rooms. So let me go ahead and do that. And I'm going to just pause my share just for a moment, and I will put this prompt here in the chat. Get this pulled up here. Access that quick. Great. And we're going to do the breakout rooms. You're going to be paired up with either one or two other people. Yes, I'll provide the Menti code here in a minute. So it looks like, let's go ahead and do this. Got a lot of breakout rooms. This will be fun. We're all going to be paired up. I love about 2 or 3. Awesome. So you'll have a buddy to talk to. All right, we'll go ahead and we'll do this. Please answer the prompt. We'll be in the breakout rooms for about 6 minutes or so. Go ahead and create these rooms. Open all rooms. I'll send a message. Will be about 6 minutes. Open all rooms. We'll see you here in a little bit. For taking the time to chat about identifying a leader or a mentor that's made an impression in your life. We've been hearing some great conversation. I'd love to hear maybe 1 or 2 from the breakout rooms of maybe something that your buddy shared or an experience of your own that has really made a lasting impact on your life. Feel free to unmute.
This is Carmen McIntosh. One of the things that I shared with my chat buddy I don't have really a mentor among like my faculty or program directors, but I find my mentor among my fellow program coordinators. And they've been pretty helpful in not only just being a mentor, but providing the mental stability that we need to do this job. That's my take.
Great. Thank you so
Thanks.
much for sharing.
I know with us, what I had talked about, because a lot of people don't have a mentor. So I didn't look within my organization. I was telling our buddies that I actually went outside to, it's the National Association of Healthcare Service Executives. So they have a chapter in every state. So I have a mentor through that. And she's like a CEO level, because they have a mentoring program. So that's the level that I went to, just so I can have a different perspective of mentorship. Since, you rise through the ranks. So those are the type of mentors that I wanted to seek out to help me, not just within GME, but I actually, professionally and stuff like that. So she's been really great.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing, Natasha. I appreciate that.
My name is Rashana Gaskin. I'm calling in, I guess, or watching from the University of Michigan. I told my sweet mate, Kathy, that my mentor is my former program, or the former medical school director. When I was a medical student clerkship coordinator for him, he's the one who pushed me into GME. He was like, you're very complacent. You have too much stuff to offer, that we're just, this division, this role is not, you've outgrown it. So he's like, I've already talked to the powers that be in emergency medicine and the residency program. I told them, you applied for the job. Don't make me a liar, go apply. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And for the 7 years I worked for him, every other week he would bring me a Harvard Business review journal on how to negotiate salaries, how to look for internal jobs. Told me after 3 years, this is the type of thing that I need to negotiate for myself and advocate for myself, what to look for if you can't get the salary, what other benefits come with these new roles. Never try to take a role where you're not going to be fully compensated, not just money-wise, but is there, personal days you can take off? All of these things that I never looked at. And even to this day that I don't work with him, haven't worked with him in 5 years, he sent me a message a month ago, asked me how long I've been in this current role. I said, oh, it'll be 3 years in December. And he was like, okay, in January, I need you to start applying. Even if you're just going to refresh on your interview skills, just start doing that, even if you don't want the role, just so you know what they're looking for, what's out there. Because if you don't advocate for yourself, who is going to do that for you? So I love him. I have like a binder full of Harvard Business Review information, and happy to share with anybody if they need it. But I love that man.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that example. I loved how everybody's been saying here they've helped me grow, or they've just helped me feel appreciated. I felt like, I was needed. Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing all of your examples here. We're going to jump back into our PowerPoint and move to our next section here. And this should also be visible if you're still viewing on your phone, should be available. Give me just one moment here to pull this up. Great. Okay, thank you so much for sharing all of your stories. It's inspiring, like, wow, there's some great leaders out there. We're now going to dive into a little bit more of what is servant leadership. In a nutshell, servant leadership is a leadership style and philosophy that prioritizes the growth and well-being of others. I love this cute little animation, I guess this cute little cartoon of where we have a leader who is providing the resources to be able to help their team grow. Another thing that I find interesting about the picture is that this individual has had to take steps to be able to get there. they themselves have been able to build themselves up so that they can be able to help build other people up and help others grow. And that is the essence of what servant leadership is that they're interested in the growth of other people. They're interested in the well-being of the other person, and they all share the power. And they are able to develop a team that allows them to perform as highly as possible because they are thinking about somebody else instead of themselves first. And I feel like, and at least in my own experiences, I think we could probably all raise our hand and say we've had leaders that have not made a good impression on us, where we felt put down, or we felt like we've been overwhelmed by the demands that they've put on us, that we felt that we would never be good enough. And servant leadership has this opposite idea where the leader exists to serve the people. Servant leadership is not a new idea. In fact, it's existed for centuries of a time, but it wasn't until a man named Robert K. Greenleaf was really able to articulate it in a really clear way. He was born in 1906. He was born in Indiana, and he graduated from Charlton College in Minnesota in 1926. And there he had a professor who at the time felt that there were no large corporations who were doing this idea of servant leadership well. He felt that they were all out for their own gain, that they weren't doing good for not only their company, but for the people in their company. He was really passionate about this professor. And so he gave this almost admonition to Greenleaf to say, hey, go out there into the world and see if you can observe this and see if you can find a solution. And Greenleaf really took this to heart. He ended up working at AT&T for the next 38 years, eventually serving as director of management and development, and did a ton of management and development initiatives to be able to better the company. And during his time there, he noticed a few things between leaders who were doing a really great job in being able to help their people feel empowered and to grow the company versus leaders who were not. He had a phrase that he kind of coined, that the organization exists for the person as much as the person exists for the organization. And you can probably believe that there in the 40s, 50s, that was not a popular idea at the time. Servant leadership is unique in the sense of where we think of traditional leadership, it's like, all right, I get position A, and then I get promoted to position B, and therefore I get, bumped up in the leadership ranks. And servant leadership actually takes more of a cyclical approach where everybody, no matter what position you are in, it literally does not matter what position you are in, can be a servant leader. So one thing that also deeply inspired Greenleaf with servant leadership was Hermann Hesse's Journey to the East. Is anybody familiar with Hesse? He was a philosopher. Maybe some of you had to read it in school or maybe in graduate studies. Here's the original cover of it. He was a philosopher, and he had this story within Journey of the East that really inspired Greenleaf, and for me, really encompasses what servant leadership is. So if I could please have a volunteer that wouldn't mind reading this short story for us from Journey of the East. And feel free to. Great, thank you so much.
The idea of the servant as leader came out of reading Hermann Hesse's Journey to the East. In this story, we see a band of men on a mythical journey, probably also Hesse's own journey. The central figure of the story is Leo, who accompanies the party as the servant who does their menial chores, but who also sustains them with his spirit and his song. He is a person of extraordinary presence. All goes well until Leo disappears. Then the group falls into disarray and the journey is abandoned. They cannot make it without the servant, Leo. The narrator, one of the party, after some years of wandering, finds Leo and is taken into the order that had sponsored the journey. There, he discovers that Leo, whom he had known first as servant, was in fact the titular head of the order, its guiding spirit, a great and noble leader.
Thank you, Rita. I appreciate that. You should do audiobooks. That was fabulous. That was really great. Everyone's like, yeah, that was awesome. Everybody, please put your comments in the chat. What strikes you about Leo's character and about this story, about him being a servant leader? He's reliable. He provided resources that were essential to his team. Great. Leo's story is similar to what we do every day. Yes. The attitude of being a servant leader. Ooh, they're all coming in quick. Sustains them. Extraordinary presence, meaning that he's not just taking up space, he's making an impact. Really great observation. I love that. Never thought about that way. How when Leo wasn't present, the group fell apart. He lifts his people up. I know for a fact that if none of you existed, everything would fall apart. I know that. Seeing what Kimberly has done and Aria, it's amazing. He made sure to ensure their success without looking for personal validation. Really, really, really great observations, everybody. Thank you so much. One thing that really strikes me that was touched on that somebody said here, sustains with his spirit and his song. I love that every single person, again, no matter what role you're in, has an opportunity and has the ability to be a servant leader. There's no cap. It doesn't matter who's above you, quote unquote, who's beneath you. We are all servant leaders. And at the end of the day, if we can and capture that, how much better would our organizations be if we all truly were in it to be able to serve other people and to be able to lead from the growth up of other people. Wonderful. Thank you so much for all the commentary on that. And if you have a chance, I invite you to also read these great comments in the chat as well. I'm loving the chatter here. This little graph kind of shows up, well, what's the difference between a traditional leader and a servant leader here? Traditional leaders, as we probably know, we probably all have examples of these in our life. They see leadership as a rank to obtain. They use power and control to drive performance, measure success through output, speaks, and believe it's all about them. By raise of hands, who has had a leader in their life that follows this? Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of hands. We've all experienced this in our life. Versus servant leaders sees leadership as an opportunity to serve. It's this almost reverse look at it, right? How can I serve other people and lead? Shares power and control to drive engagement, measures success through growth and development, listens and understands it's not about them. How stark the difference between a traditional leader and a servant leader here. Servant leadership is divided up into about 10 characteristics. Philosophers and other people have varying opinions that there might be more that exist. But in a nutshell, we can boil it down to about 10 different characteristics of servant leadership. We are just going to be scratching the surface of servant leadership. And so we're going to focus on just 3 characteristics today and open up a discussion. We're going to be focusing today on empathy, listening, and healing. 3 aspects that I feel are alive and well within the profession here, within this group here. So we are going to have an opportunity to discuss, and you're going to be in bigger breakout rooms, anywhere from 4 to 5 people here. Before we do that though, I'm a big component. I actually have a background in music. So we're actually going to do a little bit of a stretch here, a little bit unconventional, just kind of keep the brain awake as we finish our little bit of the discussion here. If you just want to reach up and just put your hands up. A lot of us are stuck at desks all day, handling people with all their problems. Go ahead and take a deep breath in here and go ahead and let it out. And just let your arms drop. And if you're in a tight space too, you can just move wherever's comfortable. Go ahead and roll those shoulders back. All right, go ahead and look up and give that neck a little bit of love. Just a quick check-in with the body before we do this last little bit of discussion. We'll go ahead and take one more deep breath in here. Think a happy, positive thought, and breathe that out into the world, manifesting that. Great, thank you so much. I like to do this throughout the day so I can stay focused and alert, ready to jump onto the next task here. I'm gonna go ahead and paste these questions in the chat, and let's go ahead and I'll do this here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and unshare my screen here and get these breakout rooms set up, recreate. In just a moment here to click this button many times. Okay. All right, 4 to 5, that's looking pretty good. All right, I'm going to create these breakout rooms, and then I'm going to put into the chat, you are going to receive a prompt. There are 3 different prompts, one for empathy, listening, and healing. Your group can pick one and choose which one you want to discuss. And if time allows, please do a second. But please take the time to read through these prompts and these questions and answer them. And we encourage everybody to be able to participate. I have about 4 to 5 people in each breakout room, so we should all be set up. And we're gonna go ahead and be in the breakout room for the next 10 minutes or so. We wanna make sure that we end on time and have time to share here at the end. So I might cut it a bit short, but please answer the questions, look at this PDF document that has the prompts, read it, and then discuss as a group. We're gonna go ahead and open these rooms for about 10 minutes, y'all.
Recording.
She threw us out. And
All right, it looks like everybody is back in. Thank you so much for taking the time to be able to have those discussions here in your group. We're coming to the end of our hour. I'd love to hear maybe someone who's just super pumped that would love to share their experience in their group and give a summary of what was discussed. And then we have one last prompt to finish out our meeting today. Would anyone like to share?
This is Bridget. I guess I'll share. We were just discussing the number one thing characteristic of important leadership is a servant attitude, because it's very offensive if someone just bosses you around. They have all the power. They're dictating what to do. It's kind of offensive. And then the number one thing at the end we mentioned, what Cheryl mentioned, is being the lack of appreciation. You need to be appreciated for what you do. And if you're a servant leadership, you should have that attitude, because I was just saying that people in my department think I know a lot, but I'm not a wizard. I always tell them someone showed me or someone taught me. And so the number one thing we need to be giving back, we need to be educating other people. So when I find out how to do something new, I just share it with everybody. I just email and let people know, because, I'm not a wizard. It's someone shared it with me, someone taught me, or I might have used my resources and discovered how to do something, but still, it's all about sharing and, being a servant. If you have a servant attitude, it's so much better. And it's just kindness, caring. It's one of our core values: integrity, discover, caring. Those are the core values at MD Anderson. So I try to abide by those, because people are stressed, and they don't need me stressing them about anything. You know what I'm saying? You don't need added stress. You have family, you have things going on in your life. So it needs to be a safe space where, I'm working with someone who's going to be kind and respectful, period. So that's what I live by.
Thank you so much for your thoughts. I really appreciate that. Great. I'm seeing the chatter in the chat. I agree. We need like a whole, we could talk about servant leadership for a long time. So thank you for making the best of what we had with our time today. I'm always revamping this presentation. So please, if you have suggestions, recommendations, please put them in the chat, or please feel free to reach out to me or to Aria, and we can just would love to be able to make this even better for the next time this is shared. We have our last little prompt here in our last 2 minutes. Let me go ahead and share my screen again. I'm seeing some answers already, because you might have it pop up on your personal device. What is one specific way you are going to implement servant leadership into your life. You're welcome to respond directly onto the Menti platform or in the Zoom chat. Healing relationships, empathy, and active listening, as well as being a mentor. Oh, I love this. I'd like to broaden my perspective from my own experience and become a better listener. Continue to share thoughts, ideas with the group. Someone else said awareness. Let's see if we can scroll through these. Oh, yes, there's lots more. Look at that. More active listening. Try to pause and be a better listener. I really love that idea. Start with a nice bottle of wine. There are days, yes. Hone in the skills of being a servant leader. Advocate for those who are not being heard. Wonderful thought. I love how we're being really, really specific. Well, thank you so much, everyone. Again, I wish that we had time to be able to talk more and chat with this. I hope that this can spur inspiration and ideas within your own mind and in your own organizations. If you want to learn more about servant leadership, you can scan this QR code. And again, I can provide these slides as well if you need. Thank you so much for your time today. You are needed. What you do matters. You are a leader. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Becca, thank you so much for this presentation. And from what I see in the chat, it's been amazing. Everybody loves it. So thank you so much. I know some of you are about to leave to another meeting and everything. I will say this, I will post the recording in a bit. And thank you so much. Happy GME Professionals Month. See you next month. Bye.
Thank you.